Yeah, so as a child, I was a sort of child who would take objects apart. I was really interested to see what was inside, say, a radio or a television. And I think my parents were very forgiving because, when you try then to put something back together again, they would never quite fit properly or work. And so I was interested in inventing things and making stuff, and I was always quite good at drawing and making art. I had a place at university to do engineering, but also had a place to do art instead, and decided to sort of follow the art career because it seemed to be a lot more fun. I remember looking around an engineering course, and it was quite dreary, sort of halls of residence. I think there were only like 3 girls on the course as well, out of 100 boys. So whereas you look around an art college and it's this sort of bubbling, frothing space full of ideas and creativity. So I decided to do an art degree instead, and I haven't really looked back. So ideas come from everywhere, really. I often get approached by museums and festivals and institutions about creating an artwork specific to their brief. So they might say, we want you to animate or create an artwork to hang from this ceiling, perhaps. Or they might say, we want something that's going to bring people into the museum, but also is going to animate the city as well. So a whole variety of different briefs. Or we say, well, we want an artwork to raise awareness of climate change. And so I'll develop then maybe 10 ideas, and we'll pick through those and work out exactly what's best specifically for the project. So I have a great time. I love developing ideas, and there's no shortage of them. I think my most important tool actually for developing an artwork is a bit biro and a piece of paper. So I'll be drawing and testing out ideas on a bit of paper, and from there I might build a prototype or a CAD model, and then I do some bad Photoshop mock-ups to show what the artwork might look like. We then move to a prototype stage and then take that to design the final artwork. So it can often take about 6 months to take an artwork from a basic idea all the way through to fruition in its first exhibition. But I really enjoy the entire journey. I love coming up with ideas. I also love drawing and sketching, get excited by prototypes, and it's very exciting when I'm working then with fabricators to make an artwork come into being. And then of course the final presentation of the artwork is lovely, where you suddenly exposing artwork to the public and getting that feedback as well. So I really enjoy my job as an artist. I think the purpose of the artwork that I make varies depending on the artwork. So some of the artworks I create combine science communication with engineering, or storytelling about climate change, for instance. Whereas other projects are more playful. So my street piano project acts as a blank canvas for the public's creativity around the city. But it's a way to animate a city and make people realise that a city is a space for public creativity, that actually we're living in these cities and it's up to us to think about how we animate them. So every artwork has a different story to tell and a different message in its own way. So I really enjoy the way that the public interact with my artworks. There was a little girl who came up to me in a cathedral where the moon was presented, and she said, "Will you put the moon back afterwards?" So she thought I'd stolen the real moon, and that was really nice. We put it in Leicester Cathedral, and someone asked me online how we got the moon in there. And I joked that it took 6 months to take all the stained glass windows out to be able to get the moon through. And of course I was joking, but all the press suddenly turned up at Leicester Cathedral angry that we'd taken all the stained glass windows out. Yeah, I suppose I really enjoy presenting artwork outdoors in spaces, because then you know that the artwork is going to be exposed to everybody. It will be exposed to the usual art crowd, but also it will be exposed to the general public, I suppose. And the impact of the artwork is always varied. I really enjoy the way it changes in the weather and the sunlight, depending on the time of day and the time of year. So that's really interesting. But yeah, the public reaction is usually really positive.